Good morning, fifth graders. It's Valerie for the Putnam County District Library, and I'm back to talk to you about our October book talk. Today's author is Gordon Korman. Gordon Korman was born October 23rd, 1963. He lives in Long Island with his family. He doesn't do a big biography. He's very well known. He's got a lot of books. He is #1 New York Times bestselling author of more than 75 books for kids and teens. His writing career began at the age of 12 when his 7th grade English assignment became his very first novel, which was then published while he was a freshman in high school. There's something to be proud of and try to follow as a goal. Now, decades later, he is a full-time writer with more than 17 million copies of his novels in print. His books have been translated into 14 different languages. Nickelodeon recently brought Gordon Korman's New York Times bestselling series Swindle series to life in a made-for-TV movie. Each year, Gordon travels extensively visiting schools, libraries, and conferences, bringing his trademark humor and adventure style to readers everywhere. What is the secret of Gordon's success? It's a combination between real life and pure imagination, he says. I always start off with something real, but then I unleash my imagination to make it more appealing. So it's a little bit about Gordon Korman. And now I'll share some of his books. As he mentioned, one of the books that he's most known for is Swindle. We currently don't have a copy of it, and I put a hold on it, and it didn't come in time. I do, however, have, I believe, the sequel to Swindle. No, I don't. This is part of the series, but I think it's the third one. This one's Hideout. So just to give you an idea, in case you're not familiar with Swindle, they all feature this type of a dog. So, Hideout, a place to escape detection, especially when being chased by someone determined to have revenge. When Griffin Bing and his friends first meet Luther, he was a vicious attack dog, working for the slimy Wendell Palomino, also known as Swindle. The kids rescue Luther and never thought they'd see Swindle again. But now Swindle's returned and he wants his dog back. Swindle has manipulated the law so that there's no way for Savannah Truesdale to keep Luther in her house. Before he can be taken away, they decide to make him disappear away from Swindle. 6 kids, 3 hideouts, 1 extremely large dog. What could possibly go wrong? Hideout. Yeah, I think, it's definitely a series. You could probably read it all in one swoop, but I think you could probably read them independently too. And keep it in mind that, you're going to have a little bit of backstory there too. So that's Hideout. The Ungifted series, I actually have 2 copies of this. This is the very first one in Ungifted. The word gifted has never been applied to a kid like Donovan. It's usually more like, don't cry like this at home. So when the troublemaker pulls a major prank at the middle school, he thinks he's finally gone too far. But thanks to a mix-up by one of the administrators, instead of getting into trouble, Donovan is sent to an academy of a scholastic distinction, a special program for gifted and talented students. It wasn't exactly what Donovan had intended, but there couldn't be a more perfect hideout for someone like him. That is, if he can manage to fool people whose IQs are above genius level. And that becomes harder and harder as the students and teachers of ASD grow to realize that Donovan may not be good at math or science or just about anything. But after an ongoing experiment with a live human, his sister, an unforgettably dramatic middle school dance, and the most astonishing come-from-behind robot victory ever, Donovan shows that his gifts might be exactly what the ASD students never knew they needed. And that's Gifted. I'm going to send one of each copy to each one of the classrooms. Then we have the Unteachables. The Unteachables are a notorious class of misfits, delinquents, and academic train wrecks. like Eldo with anger management issues, Parker, who can't read, Kiana, who doesn't even belong to the class or any class, and Elaine, rhymes with pain. The Unteachables have been removed from the student body and are isolated in room 117. Their teacher is Mrs. Zachary Kermit, the most burned out teacher in all of Greenwich. He was once a rising star, but his career was shattered by a cheating scandal that still haunts him. After years of phoning it in, he is finally 1 year away from early retirement. But the superintendent has his own plans to torpedo that idea, and it involves assigning Mr. Kermit to the Unteachables. The Unteachables never thought they'd find a teacher who had a worse attitude than they did, and Mr. Kermit never thought he would actually care about teaching again. Over the course of a school year, though, room 117 will experience mayhem, destruction, and maybe even a shot at redemption. The Unteachables. Here's an older book that Korman wrote called The Twinkie Squad. Meet Douglas Fairchild, son of diplomats, visionary dreamer, and member of the Twinkie Squad. Meet Commando, smooth mover, basketball star, and way cool guy until he meets Douglas. Thanks to Douglas, Commando has joined the Thaddeus G. Little Middle School Special Discussion Group, or as the students call it, the Twinkie Squad. Only special students get to be in the Twinkie Squad. Commando never planned on being that special, but Douglas doesn't understand why Commando is worried. The Twinkie Squad, Douglas feels, has real potential, and he has big plans for it. But Douglas just doesn't understand. Before Douglas is through, the school will smell like rotten fish, the principal will be on the verge of a nervous breakdown, and reality itself will be up for special discussion. Best of all, with Douglas's help, the Twinkie Squad will have achieved its potential in ways nobody, not even Douglas Fairchild, could ever have anticipated. And that's the Twinkie Squad. Let's see here. He also wrote, this is the second book in this particular series of the Kidnap series. This one's the Search. The first one was checked out. But a little bit about the Kidnap series. Where is Meg Faulkner? Everyone wants to know. Her brother Aiden, who saw her kidnapped and is now trying to track her down, wants to know. The FBI, led by very serious Agent Harris, wants to know. Her parents, who fear her past, have something to do with why Meg was taken. They want to know. Even Meg's kidnappers want to know. Because catching her doesn't always mean keeping her. Some of you may be aware of the fact that Gordon Korman also wrote a couple of 39 Clues books. This one happens to be the fourth one in this particular series of the 39 Clues. This one's Flashpoint. He also dabbled a little bit in sports. This is the Super Bowl switch. I was Dan Marino. The Super Bowl is coming up, and it's Coleman Calloway's last chance to try out on the jersey that allowed his best friends Nick and Elliot to trade bodies with real NFL players. He finally musters up the courage to put it on, and lo and behold, finds himself in the body of Dan Marino. But when Dan Marino wakes up in Coleman's body, he panics and takes off the jersey. Unless Nick and Elliot can track him down and get it back on him, he and Coleman may have changed places permanently. And the last one, again, this is a book 2. This is the On the Run series called The Fugitive Factor, book 2. And again, this is featuring Aiden and Meg Faulkner, and they are out to find the evidence that will free their parents from the life sentence in prison. But in order to do that, they have to live undercover. Ever since they broke out of their juvenile detention facility, they've been chased by the FBI. And by a strange killer, they've been nicknamed Hairless Joe. Now their story has hit the airways, and suddenly everyone is looking for them. They think they can hide with an old family friend, and when Meg is thrown in jail, the danger and adventure only increases. Nowhere to hide and everywhere to run. All right, so those were some of the featured books that I have about Gordon Korman for this October book talk for the 5th graders. And Remember, you can place holds on books. You can just have your teacher go ahead and email me, and we can get those put on hold for you, because we are being able to get books from all the 250 libraries around the state again. If you have any questions, feel free to, have her send me an email as well. And I thank you for joining me today. We'll see you next month for the November Book Talk. Have a great day.